Exceed Life Assurance Company Limited. Yep, Exceed Life Assurance Company Limited. We'll get to know about the child education policy. Do you have a child education policy or you're thinking of taking one? Well, the team at Exceed would definitely want to help you. But for starters, let's get to understand it. I want you to know all about it. And we're totally honored to have the Chief Operating Officer, the COO of Exceed Life Assurance Company Limited, join us, Mr. Mudashiru Raji. Welcome, Chairman. How are you doing, sir?
Thank you. I'm doing well.
Nice. Really honored to have you. And how's the team at Exceed doing?
Exceed is doing well.
Yeah, I see them in the orange, vibrant colors. Yeah, exceeding expectations. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for coming by. So today we get to talk about the child education policy, right?
Yes, please.
Awesome. Every responsible parent will go to any extent to ensure that his or her child attains the highest level of education, and the foundation is often very critical. Now, what has actually informed insurance companies to design policies that would take care of children's education, especially at the basic level?
Okay. Thank you so much. The cost of higher education is going up, and it's not easy meeting the cost of higher education because of inflation and other economic factors. Therefore, it is very important to plan and adequately meet the financial expectation of the child when the time is due for the child to enter a higher education. The earlier you start, the more time you have to grow your money until the end of the policy term, when the financial support will be made available, the money will be made available for you to finance your child education. Child education policy basically is a life insurance policy designed as a saving tool to provide an amount of money when the child reaches the age of entry into a higher level of education. The policy covers the parent, and the minimum age of the parent is normally 18 years.
The minimum age of the child, or
the minimum age
of the parent
is
okay.
normally 18 years.
18 years. Okay, right. I get that.
The child is therefore made the beneficiary of the product or the policy. The maximum age of the parent varies from company to company. But as soon as the child is born, the child can be made a beneficiary of the policy. However, if the child is a minor, that child, the policyholder ought to choose or appoint a trustee for that child. The trustee in this regard should be at least 18 years old. The maximum age for the child varies from company to company. At Exceed Life, for instance, it is 21 years. Other companies start with 20 years, others too is 21 years. The policy has a number of benefits, namely maturity benefits, death benefits, and other additional benefits such as total and permanent disability, loan facility, and partial withdrawal.
Okay. Before we actually get into the benefits, I want to understand this policy well. Is this saying that a parent will keep putting money aside till the child reaches a certain level of education, then the child accesses the funds, or the parent accesses the funds? How does it work?
The point is, the client will determine the number of years he wants to sign onto the policy.
Okay.
So with that, the parent will start putting the money called premium aside monthly or quarterly or semi-annually or annually until the end of the policy term. When the end of the policy term is come, then the parent can access that fund to finance the education of the child.
Okay. So it's the parent who decides when the policy is going to end.
Yes.
So I'm thinking that somebody is not giving birth yet, right? They want to get a child education policy. So they decide that in 18 years they want to access the funds. Is that it? So it means that they would have to contribute for 18 years.
Yes, please.
And that's what the parent decides with the insurance company.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. And then you talked about the benefits. You talked about death, and a few other things you mentioned earlier. If you can go back to that and explain it a little bit more for me.
Okay, the policy has a number of benefits. One of them is maturity benefit. This is the amount of money which is payable to the policy holder at the end of the policy term to enable him or her to finance the education of the child.
Okay.
Death benefits. This amount of money which is payable to the nominated beneficiary of the policy in the event of untimely death of the policy holder, so that the child can enjoy uninterrupted education.
Okay.
There are other additional benefits, such as total and permanent disability benefit. With total and permanent disability benefit, it comes with additional fee. This benefit is payable to the policyholder when he or she suffers for total and permanent disability before the end of the policy term. The client is given the chance to have policy loan under the policy. The client is given the opportunity to access this fund in the form of policy loan after contributing for a period of time. A percentage of the fund is given to the policy holder to enable him or her meet certain financial challenges with regards to the education of the child. Besides that, we have what we call another benefit called partial withdrawal. And with partial withdrawal, the parent is given the opportunity to take part of the amount or part of the funds after contributing for a period of time.
Okay. And
still to use it to finance the child education when he or she meets certain financial difficulties.
Okay, so it means you don't necessarily have to wait till the end of the term of that contract to assess the funds.
The policy is taken for a period of time, but the point is that in order to avoid the parents going to beg for money or going to look for money when they are financially constrained, opportunity is given to such parents to access part of the fund in the form of policy loan or partial withdrawal after contributing for a period of time. With some companies it is 2 years, depending on the number of years you have taken. For instance, if you are taking a 5-year policy, with some companies it is 2 years. After I've contributed for 2 years, then you can access the fund in the form of either policy loan or partial withdrawal. Now there's a distinction between partial withdrawal and policy loan. With partial withdrawal, what it means is that the client is not supposed to pay back the benefit after accessing the fund. But with policy loan, what it means is that it's a loan that is being given to the client in the form of policy loan. So the client is supposed to pay back the benefit within a period of time.
Okay. So what happens if, let's say, somebody has taken a policy for their child for, let's say, 18 years, and touch wood, at 12 years, the one paying the premium dies, the parent dies. It's not matured yet. What happens?
That is what we call death benefits. If it is not matured yet, what happens is that a death benefit is paid once the parent is dead. That is the one who is paying the premium is dead. The company or the policy pays death benefit to the nominated beneficiary of the policy, so as to ensure that the child education is not interrupted.
But does it truncate the policy? Because like I was saying, the premium was supposed to be paid for 18 years. They've paid 12 years. So what happens to the 6 years?
So after paying the death benefit, it means that the policy has ended.
Okay. I see. So what if the child, unfortunately, God forbid, but what if the child unfortunately also passes on before maturity of the policy?
When the child unfortunately passes on before the end of the policy, the policyholder is given the option, either depending on the policy, depending on the terms of the policy, either to replace that child with another child, or to decide to terminate the policy.
For go give birth again. Okay, interesting. Is there any other thing that you would want the public to know about the children's education policy?
Child education policy is very, very important, just because the cost of the cost of education is increasing every now and then, and the earlier you start, the better you are able to make available enough money to finance the child education when the time is due. So it is very, very important that clients make provision to take child education policy at the earlier age, so that the money can grow for the parents after a period of time, when that money is when at the end of the policy term, then the parent can access at the end of the policy term, then the parent can access that fund,
okay,
to finance the child education.
All right, awesome. And I'm sure we can take a child education policy from Exceed Life, can't we?
Yes, please.
Okay, good. Tell us a little bit more about Exceed Life Assurance Company
Limited. With Exceed Life Assurance Company Limited, we have a minimum period of 5 years for our child education policy and a maximum period of 10 years for our child education policy. Our premiums are flexible and affordable. In fact, with 18 Ghana cedis, you can take a Exceed Life child education policy. The maximum premium payable is unlimited. You can decide to pay any amount depending on your affordability. A Exceed Life child education policy is as a minimum period of 18 years. The minimum period for the child for the policy holder is 18 years, and the maximum period is 55 years.
Okay. Well, I think that's enough. If you want a child education policy, you might want to talk to the team at Exceed Life Assurance Company Limited. Our Chief Operations Officer is Mr. Mudashiru Raji. Thank you so much for coming by today and telling us about the child policy. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. In regards to the team at Exceed Life as well, have a great afternoon. This is probably brought to you by the Ghana Insurance Association. We say insurance companies. Claims payment is our business. If you want clarity on any of these issues, you might want to call the GIA Complaints Management and Advice Bureau on 0800 442,000. Call them, and whatever issues that you have, they would give you clarity on that as well. Okay, stay tuned into Joy 99.7 FM. This small one, I'm back.